tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I can't stop dancing to this music. I love it. It's so much fun. And we're going to have fun talking to you about WWE SmackDown, which you can chat to us and watch us live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page. You're, of course, listening on iTunes and SoundCloud, liking, subscribing, give those 5 stars. Give even 6 if you can. And, have some fun with us, because we're going to talk about a Halloween edition of SmackDown. Welcome, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. Follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. And, of course, these stunning, elegant t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. We got a fun panel this evening. First off, the lovely lady. She's always wonderful. And we love having fun with her. At Chris Reports, it is Christy Olsen.
Woo, it is me. I am here. Glad to be here.
Oh, well, we're glad that you are here. And Scott Narver at Curtain Jerks, he is out of town for the next few weeks. However, filling in for him this week. Oh, it's not even it's like a special treat. I've been trying to get you on this show for God knows how long.
Well, I've been a busy man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've probably recognized his face from TMZ for many years. He now has his own wrestling site, ProWrestlingSheet.com.
That's it.
I want to make sure I pronounce it right.
You got it right.
ProWrestlingSheet.com. At Ryan Satin on Twitter. Ryan Satin, what's up, sir?
Not much. Good to be here. I'm glad we finally made it happen. It has been a long time coming, so I'm glad I'm here.
Well, we are glad you are here.
I just wish you had chosen a better episode for me to come for than the Halloween episode, which is always tough to get through.
Yeah, we're sorry.
It was all part of my master plan.
This is your revenge for me making you wait for so long?
Yes. I wanted you to reveal the big news before it actually came out. You said, no, I need to wait. And I said, okay, fine, you're going to come on the Halloween edition.
But look how much better it is, because now we can say what I've been doing, as opposed to pretending like
you're going to do a thing and it's going to be cool.
Yeah, like now
you're already doing the thing and it's pretty cool.
Exactly. Now I'm doing it. People know about it. I'm excited to talk about it. Semi-excited to talk about the Halloween episode of SmackDown.
Well, let's talk. We'll talk about the site a little more later, but just real quick, I do want to bring up, because if you're a regular listener or viewer of the show, you know that I despise dirt sheets, and we're going to have some fun with that later on. And I've constantly said there are only 3 places that I trust when I hear things. It's either if the news is on WWE.com itself, their individual Twitter page, unless then they claim it was hacked, or if it was on TMZ. And it was on TMZ because of you.
That's true.
Because you got all the insight on it.
I think that's definitely fair to say. I mean, the past 5 years, I worked TMZ for 6 years, but the past 5 years, I definitely was the wrestling guy and produced all the wrestling stories. So, yes, all those fact-worthy stories were coming from me, and now that I don't work at TMZ, I'm trying to do it on my own with just strictly wrestling news all the time, so I can have more stories all the time coming for all the people that I enjoy most.
Right, so it's a site that I can actually go to because I know it's coming from credible sources.
Factual reports, credible sources, and not something that I just maybe heard from a random person and threw it up because I wanted to get the traffic off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that stuff's good enough for me. But hey, kudos to you.
Thank you.
And wait, so if you're not around at TMZ anymore, how did they get that big Lana Rusev exclusive?
Well, I can't get into too much detail about it, but I mean, look.
Did you facilitate?
I did not facilitate that one. Despite me doing the majority of the stories, there was a few people that still had a few ins here and there. And honestly, since I left TMZ, I'm just glad they're still doing wrestling stories.
Yeah.
Before I started at TMZ, it was mainly if there was a wrestling story about someone dying or getting arrested, and it's cool for me to see that I've left some kind of legacy there where they're still continuing on with stuff that I did. So I'm slightly bitter that I didn't get that story, but
kudos that I can open TMZ in the morning and read about WWE.
Yeah, it's still cool.
I like it.
Yes. And this was the man who set that up.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. Well, let's get into SmackDown, and kind of Ryan, you kind of touched on it a moment ago. These last several weeks of SmackDown, they've been good. Great competitive matches. Hell in a Cell happened this past Sunday, which we did the after show. You can watch it on the AfterBuzz YouTube page or on the AfterBuzz iTunes page.
Great show.
Fantastic pay-per-view. Raw the following night. Great. An unbelievable Fatal 4-Way on that show. It's like, all right, keep the momentum going. SmackDown's been on fire the last few weeks. And then we had tonight.
Let's put it out.
I mean...
Well, to be fair, it's kind of tradition, I think. I mean, the Halloween episode is never something they take seriously. They're always doing jokey things. I mean, we were talking about when we were watching it. Back in the day, there was a costume contest, and at least we didn't have a costume contest this year.
Yes, the Divas Revolution has paid off.
Yes.
No
sexy
costume.
firemen on tonight's SmackDown.
No, just pumpkins around the ring while Dolph Ziggler wrestles.
Now, granted, a bunch of 15 and 16-year-old boys are upset about this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I think you were slightly upset the Bella Twins weren't there.
I mean, I like to see my girls, the Bella Twins, and I also like to see what they're going to be for Halloween.
Yeah, you're ready to see
but
their
I'm
costume.
sure those pictures will be all over Instagram, so it's fine.
Yeah. The Instagram will cover it. Don't you worry about that. So let's get into SmackDown. So it starts with Bray Wyatt with a promo, and he looks like he's holding the Undertaker's hat, which is weird because he wasn't wearing the hat when he abducted him. But he's somehow when he took the Undertaker, he happened to let him go back to his apartment to get dressed or something. I don't know.
I totally didn't think about that when he was holding the hat that he didn't have the hat. I guess maybe he raided his closet afterwards.
I guess. Like when they abducted him, they took his keys. I don't know. But
to be fair, if you were gonna take anything from the Undertaker, you'd probably take his hat if you could.
Yeah,
it's a cool hat. And Halloween's coming up.
It's a badass hat. It's a badass hat.
And Bray Wyatt's got a cool sense of style, so you might rock it once in a while.
Yeah, you could.
That would be cool if he suddenly on Raw came out wearing the Undertaker's hat.
I just hope he doesn't wear the cane mask with the hair on it, because that would look ridiculous. That'd be too much.
That would be awesome. So Bray mentions that the spirits of the Brothers of Destruction belong to him now. He owns the soul of Kane as well as the soul of the Undertaker. And he challenges any three souls that are brave enough to step forward against his monsters tonight. And to those three souls that are brave enough, my condolences. I think maybe this promo was my favorite part of the whole damn show. I love this promo
because
at the
this
beginning.
point the puns weren't too much yet.
No. The
That's
show was
why.
only on for about 60 seconds. There wasn't really many Halloween puns in his promo.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at my notes here, and I hadn't said anything negative yet. I just the only reason I have negative things above it is because I went back and I was like, oh, well, I got to mention these things at the top because those things were bad. But I was annoyed by Eric Rowan mysteriously showing up as part of the family again, and
We talked about that a couple weeks ago, how it made no sense.
But tonight was the first time where I kind of had gotten over it finally, and I was watching it thinking, these guys do look pretty tough. It's cool having the two different black and white sheeps, and Luke Harper's there. It was the first time where I was looking at them like, damn, those guys are really scary again. I like having them back together.
Harper is the smallest one.
Which is crazy.
He's 6'7"?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy to think. I mean, and before the child corrects me, I know Bray's the shortest, but I'm talking about just the size of his monsters or whatever. But yeah, I love this promo, and then SmackDown started.
No, I loved it too. I loved it too. I mean, Bray Wyatt. Some people get down on the fact that he does these promos all the time that feel very similar, but I was into the fact that he kind of added a few props, even though I hadn't thought about the weirdness of the hat. But I liked there was a few props in there, and that all of them are talking now. It wasn't just kind of Bray Wyatt just rambling on for 20 minutes. It was kind of like each one got to throw in their own little scary thing to say for the match. I was into it.
Yeah.
It was a monster bash.
Leave.
There's one
Leave.
pun
Get
they
out.
didn't use.
Get out.
Where's Cesaro and Dean Ambrose?
Leave. Oh, it begins.
refuse.
All right. So now the first in-ring moment of the night comes from Roman Reigns. And we got to give credit where credit is due. This guy, Sunday night, had a 25-minute amazing Hell in a Cell match with Bray Wyatt. Monday night, he does a good 8 to 10 minute match with Kofi Kingston, and then an amazing 15 to 20 minute fatal 4-way in the same night. And tonight, he starts SmackDown, starting on the microphone, talking about since day one, it's been his dream to win the WWE Championship. Now the only person standing in his way is Seth Rollins. Da-da-da-da-da. Interrupted by the Intercontinental Champion and the man he pinned on Monday, Kevin Owens. Owens mocks him, mocks the crowd, talking about how he got lucky and now has a shot at the title. And Reigns asks if Kevin Owens is going to be talk Owens talk or fight Owens fight. And before he even finished saying that, the ref hopped in the ring. And, like, you could have changed the camera.
Because them is fighting words, yo.
So, like,
The ref knew it was on at that point.
Ref knew, okay, match is happening. I got to get in there. I got to lay down the law.
I always get confused though when they do those promos where when the announcers are saying they have a match, but then the wrestlers are acting like they don't know they have a match. That always confuses me. That kind of happened tonight. I was like,
okay. So this leads into Reigns versus Owens. So this is what kind of what I was talking about, the fact that Reigns has wrestled a lot in that short span.
That's a lot. I mean, you were there in Hell in a Cell. I was there, and it was to watch someone go through that it would look painful. And know they had to wrestle the following 2 nights is definitely brutal for that. But he did. I mean, the match was pretty good. It wasn't the best match, but it was definitely I think the match everyone wanted to see coming out of Raw, because when those two were in the ring together, it was pretty interesting. But I personally felt like, as much as it was interesting to see them wrestle, that no one really gained anything out of this match.
Nothing was gained out.
Nothing was gained out of this. It didn't make Roman Reigns look stronger. It didn't make Kevin Owens look stronger. It was kind of like a waste.
They didn't tell a story.
No, they could have done one of two things with it. They could have. By the way, Reigns won via count out because Kevin Owens refused to get back in the ring. So they could have done one of two things. One, Rollins could have interfered or caused a DQ to help escalate that. Or, say you still just keep Owens refusing to, participate. Then later on in the night, you have him being interviewed backstage about why he did that. Someone comes in to interrupt him. Hey, why are you being such a coward? Da-da-da. Thus setting up a new feud for Owens, because we don't know who he's feuding with next. Either one of those would have been fine.
Instead, we got Boo Dallas for 4 segments.
Hey. Hey, I invite you on my show. There's one rule. You do not insult Bo Dallas.
I mean, look, I love Bo Dallas, but
not as much as he does.
No, clearly not as much as he does. But the Boo Dallas thing was a little much tonight, especially because unless I'm missing something, was there ever a payoff to it?
There was at the very end, which was and the payoff sucked.
Maybe I was on my phone at that point.
We'll get to okay. Well, before we get introduced to Boo Dallas,
sorry.
Renee's dressed up like Tinkerbell. It's one thing if you had a lot of people dressed up for Halloween. She was the only one tonight that was in a costume, except for Bo.
That was very confusing that some people were in costumes and some weren't. Like the King, the announcers, none of them were in costume. Why was Renee in costume?
Well, she didn't really seem to like it either.
No, she didn't. It was very uncomfortable.
They Instagrammed a photo earlier of she's not really in the spirit. She was standing there with her frowny face on with that stupid costume. I feel like Ambrose made her wear it. He was like, "We're gonna do this funny segment, honey. We want to get our spin-off. Dean loves Nene.
We want a spin-off. I'm sure Dean Ambrose wants an E spin-off."
I was just thinking that is literally the last thing I pictured Dean Ambrose saying is, "Honey, we need to get our spin-off."
So Ambrose is saying he's going to be one of the 3 in the 6-man tag match.
Of course.
Shocker. He may go down, but the question is how many of those wives he's taking out with him. He leaves, and that's where we get introduced to Boo Dallas tonight, who pops out in a ghost screaming boo. Renee is not scared. And Bo says, tonight, someone is getting scared. All you got to do is Bo leave.
I think he said boo leave.
Boo leave. Excuse me. And I was intrigued by this at the beginning. If it led to some type of match, and he could got squashed in that match, I don't care, because that's all they're doing with him these days anyway. But have it progress. We're going to get more into it as the show goes on, but they really didn't do much.
No, that's like what I was saying earlier, is that I just didn't understand the point of it. And I think we mentioned this many times while we were watching the show, that a lot of the things didn't really have a point in this episode. There was a lot of things that were happening, but none of it was really going anywhere.
Nothing nothing progressed for anything towards Survivor Series. This was a throwaway show.
Yes, complete throwaway show.
And you can do something with costumes and with like the trick or treat street match.
Yeah,
like
we're not saying we need them to make 4 Survivor Series matches tonight.
No. But I'm saying like just because it's the Halloween episode doesn't mean that it needed to be like cheesy and pointless.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Didn't need to be a throwaway episode just because it was a holiday episode.
Right.
4-way tag team match. So I was excited when I heard that this was going to happen, and they, I think they call it like a trick or treat for I don't know what they call it.
It's something along those
Some
lines.
Halloween pun. Dudley's versus Lucha Dragons versus Ascension versus Sheamus and Barrett. 1, no Rusev. 2, no Stardust at ringside.
Well, didn't he get injured, Rusev? But it was at this taping, right?
It was at main event, and he tweeted out, so I know it's legit.
Okay.
That apparently he suffered some type of tear in his bicep.
WWE.com also confirmed,
Right.
so you can double know it's legit.
Double know it. And
I don't believe it.
And it's if it's not already on ProWrestlingSheet.com, it probably is going to be.
I was going to, but then I was working on my podcast, and there's only one person technically there at Pro Wrestling Sheet right now, so I was working on the podcast, and I was gonna put it up, but I had to come here instead. So don't give me too much crap.
No problem. but so he'll be out. I don't know, for a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's a major injury. It's might like be out maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks or something like that.
Oh, really? That was all it was?
WWE.com said about a month.
Okay.
But to me,
Maybe
this
he's
is perfect for him.
Faking it. Yes, exactly.
Well, no.
Go home and be with Lana. They can heal together, do a little wedding planning. You know,
I
plan their spinoff.
Beat Dean and Nene to the spinoff.
This had nothing to do with them planning the wedding that I was thinking of. What I did think of, then he suddenly returns when Lana is healed, and all of a sudden they're back to being evil Russians.
Yay!
Or Bulgarian.
Which is what we all want,
Which is
right?
all everyone wants, yes.
We all just want evil Russians.
Yes.
Come on.
I don't even care that he's Bulgarian. I can pretend that he's Russian. It's okay.
And Joseph Boza in the chat roll correct me. It was called the Tag Team Terror Fatal 4-Way match.
Try saying that 3
Thank you,
times.
Jobo.
I couldn't say it once.
I know.
So, New Day comes out wearing unicorn horns. So great. Can we play New Day's music some more? Because whenever we talk about New Day, it just feels good. Christy is dancing without the music right now.
We don't need it.
She's got the music in her head. We're good.
Okay. So they're upset at all the teams in the ring because they all don't believe in Halloween, which means you don't believe in magic. And Kofi,
Which is quite a jump to make.
right? And then they go on commentary in this match, and my favorite moment of this entire match was from commentary, where at the beginning Kofi tells Booker T, "You should be old school Kofi for Halloween and have a Jamaican accent." The fact that he just calls himself out.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. There it is. Just, you feel the power of positivity when the music is playing.
I do feel much more positive suddenly.
Don't you?
Yeah, I was feeling negative a little before.
Yeah, but now you feel better.
I feel a little better, yeah.
That's what the New Day does. That's why they're the world famous 2-time tag champs.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that would be funny if Booker T dressed up as old school Kofi. I would love to see that.
He could just be
costume.
Kofi's father.
Booker T could be 2 Kofis.
So,
have you ever heard his interview, Kofi, that he did where he talks about how he was trying to keep up the accent for a while? He did it, and so when he did interviews like with WWE.com, with like real reporters, he had to keep up the accent the whole time. And like someone in the BBC was trying to do like a full expose on the fact that he wasn't Jamaican before it happened. And he was like, he had to hang up with them, like, "Oh, gotta go, bye," and like hung up. And that person called his mom, and the mom was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not from Jamaica," like the whole thing. And
oh my god,
the reporter called him for comment, and he freaked out, had to call Vince and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," like thought he was gonna get in trouble.
My mom spilled the beans.
Yeah, and then he said in the interview, Vince said, "Oh, don't worry, the online voice isn't as strong as you think it is. Don't worry."
The voice from people on the internet is not that strong at all.
That's what he said in the interview. I thought it was hilarious.
Social media, what's that? So this match, I mean, it was
people touting about it.
Yeah, people are touting about it. Yes. So I mean, it was a good match. It wasn't anything that jumped out at me.
It was what it was.
I found out that Sheamus and Barrett were in this match.
Yeah. I thought the ending was cool though. I mean, I love Kalisto. He's one of my favorites. I love seeing him fly around the ring and do all this crazy stuff. And that Salida del Sol from the apron to the inside.
That was cool.
That looked pretty cool. I was into that.
Yeah.
He was on fire. They couldn't really get anything synced up tonight.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything at the same time.
Well, it's hard because weren't they tagging with someone else too? So it was kind of like a lot of people.
Well, there's a lot of people around the ring.
Get it together, boys. This is what you do. I'm just saying.
You should coach them.
Yes, I'm sure they would benefit greatly from my advice.
Salida del Sol by Kalisto pins Victor. So the Lucha Dragons get the win in this Fatal 4-Way. The team that's been getting squashed the last month all of a sudden wins a big Fatal 4-Way tag match.
Big might be pushing it, but yeah, they definitely won the Fatal 4-Way.
They won a match with 3 other tag teams not named Primetime Players.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And, I mean, maybe this is foreshadowing that they're going to get the next shot. Who knows?
I don't see them going away from Dudley Boys versus New Day anytime soon.
I'm just waiting for Usos to get back because they're the only ones that would make sense to take New Day off their titles right now.
Yeah,
because New Day is just so insanely on fire.
They really are.
Boys, I'm bursting.
With what?
I have
bursting with
internet rumored news on this
Is it time for a Believe That? Is it Believe That?
I think it is.
Okay,
I
so
think
Ryan, so you know, as I was talking about at the beginning when we were plugging ProWrestlingSheet.com, I despise dirt sheets, and Christy pretty much has like an affair with them.
Okay, I'm somewhere in the middle, so this is perfect.
Yeah. So every week she finds some story from a dirt sheet and tells it to us.
Okay.
And Scott and I, we either talk about how, hey, that might be true, or we put a flaming bag of dog poo in front of the writer's door because it seems so ridiculously stupid.
Okay.
So with that said, Christy, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, this is actually precisely what we were kind of speculating on our Hell in a Cell after show.
Okay.
And that is that the Dudleys are reportedly getting phased down in the tag division, and the whole thing with them and the New Day is going to be over to make room for the Usos. Reportedly, Jay has been cleared to return. They are back in Orlando training together, and the company wants to push them as the top baby faces of the tag team division.
I would love to know where you read this.
This one was actually on Wrestling Inc. and WrestleZone.
Okay.
And I think a couple other ones.
Okay.
Because I read the part I read the part about the Usos coming back, or how they might be coming back soon, but I didn't hear anything about the Dudley Boys part.
Yeah, both of those, there was a couple of different sites that said that's why the Dudley Boys are going to be phased out.
I mean, I and we've been talking about it for a few weeks, I do believe that the Usos are going to be the ones next in line. That makes perfect sense. How they're going to suddenly make the Dudleys drop, they came back for a reason. So obviously they're helping put the young talent over. Doesn't mean they're just going to be on Superstars. So, yes, that show still exists. So unless the Dudleys are suddenly showing up in NXT and forming a stable with Rhino, which would be weird. I don't foresee them phasing them down. They'll still be around.
I don't see them phasing the Dudley Boys out anytime soon either. It seems like they kind of brought them back for a reason, like you were saying, but to me personally, I read that story about the Usos and stuff, and it kind of felt like a lot of guessing. Like it was like, speculation. Yes, it felt like very speculative. And then it was like, on Instagram he's not wearing a brace anymore, and it looks like he's gonna come back. So yeah, we're probably safe to do that, But as far as the Dudley Boys being phased out, I have a hard time believing that's gonna happen. They're very popular right now. Like at Hell in a Cell, that's one of the few people who's having merch sold for them. They got a shirt, the glasses. I bought the glasses. I was stoked on them.
The Dudley's glasses?
Yeah, it was one of the. And my girlfriend made fun of me a lot for it, but I was stoked to wear the glasses.
You should have got her some Sasha Banks glasses.
I should have, but they weren't selling Sasha Banks glasses. They were selling Dudley Boys glasses.
We need the female glasses to sell too. Equality.
Actually, I just read they're phasing Sasha Banks out because they're not selling her shirts at the shows.
So you're speculating that Sasha Banks being phased out now? Okay. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Marie got rid of her because she stole her hair color.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought a Callisto mask.
Oh, did you? I wanted to get one of
has a
those.
Callisto mask.
Man. I had to. I was like, oh, that looks so cool. It's a legit mask. It was expensive, but it's a legit mask.
How expensive?
How much?
$50.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At Hell in a Cell?
At Hell in a Cell.
Is it like one of the good masks? Like
Yeah, it's like a legit vinyl.
Okay.
Mask. It's not like plastic or like, yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty good then.
Yeah.
$50 a lot though.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
You gotta support the indie guys when they get up there.
Well, you know, I mean, yeah, totally. And
He's gonna get at most $1 of that.
If that.
But like I'm trying to. Who's the one I bought recently? I bought a
Did you
Ultimo
buy a
Dragon mask, and it was only like $10. And it's dope. Anna LaParca mask, $10.
I can buy stuff when people buy my pro wrestling t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/Christian Rosenberg.
I can buy more masks if you go to prowrestlingsheet.com or if you subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Sheet podcast.
There you go. Ambrose backstage walks into Cesaro. Thought he was dressed up as Lex Luthor, but he's just in a regular suit. And
They're pushing that Cesaro in a suit thing though, because they social media too a thing of him rolling up in an Audi, getting out with the whole thing. I mean, I know
he's
that's
always the best dressed guy in the backstage.
Yeah.
Right, I know, I get that, but like the fact that they're pushing it seems so pointless.
Well,
Is it bad that I was entertained when he called him the transporter though?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I hated all those puns, but for some reason I still laughed when he called him the transporter. I don't know why.
Well, Cesaro agrees to team with Ambrose tonight in the main event. He had some type of scary pun, which I didn't even write down.
Which one? They were like,
there was a 1,000 tonight. And then as Ambrose leaves, all of a sudden, Cesaro turns around, and there's Bo Dallas!
Why do you like this Bo Dallas?
I'm not saying I like Bo Dallas. I'm not saying
I like Bo Dallas, but this Bo Dallas thing was out of control tonight.
What would have been cool was if at this point, then they pretty much told him, was like, all right, you want to be scared? Be our third partner.
That's okay. If I thought that maybe that's where they were going with it. Instead,
no.
They run into Ryback, who's wearing like that half hoodie thing that he had cut off, where he's got like just the front of the hoodie hanging down here. And like, I get it when wrestlers do that with the shirts, but with a hoodie, it looks so weird with the hood.
He's got to sell it, man. He's got to sell it to the kids.
He's selling half a shirt.
But like, does Ryback really want a kid to wear that Feed Me More necklace to school? I mean, come on. Like, those are ridiculous. I mean, who's actually wearing those? The Feed Me More necklaces?
But he's smart with the marketing stuff. Like, that's why he does it where he pulls it off. Like, kids do want to do that. Like Ryback, they're going to go order the necklace and pull it off.
So it's cool to buy jewelry that breaks really easily.
Well, I've wondered how they do that. He obviously doesn't have it fastened. But.
No.
Well, yeah, because then they're just going to have to buy more. I'm telling you, he's smart.
Right. Well,
he is smart in the amount of merch he has. He's got a ton.
Well, guys, we got to spend some time to talk about this trick-or-treat street fight.
Do we?
Because this...
Ding dong, trick-or-treat.
This happened. So Miz versus Ziggler... Because apparently when Tyler Breeze made his debut, Ziggler needs to get his revenge on Miz. So they have a match. The ring is surrounded by pumpkins. We have a bobbing for apples tank. On one end, we have a table with some treats, like a bucket full of trick-or-treat candy, which was never used in this match. And then there were candy corn-colored kendo sticks.
Yay!
The first thing I heard in this match was Jerry Lawler saying, you know why a skeleton went again in this match? It's because he didn't have the guts.
Oh, that's the joke that I didn't hear that you said you were going to mention.
Hilarious! Jerry Lawler, you still got it! Oh my gosh, I was falling on the floor laughing till my bones broke off. Because my funny bones were tickled.
I'm so glad you didn't rewind. I'm so glad you didn't rewind that for me.
Let me say it again.
Oh no! That's good.
So
why don't you talk about how annoyed you were with the bobbing for apples net ringside?
So someone please in chat roll, please, if you have an answer for me on this, please enlighten me. Can someone explain how putting someone's face in cold water for 1 second hurts him? How does it make your opponent weaker?
I did not understand that part of
Now, like, if he took, like, an apple from that with the stem, poked him in the eye, okay, I can buy that.
Or even if there was, like, something gross in the water, like, maybe, like, he would have been like, wow.
Did he get water up his nose?
Perhaps. but he like set him up so he had time to hold his breath. It was perfectly clean water with just some giant apples. Like they were like, well, like these are like expensive apples.
Or even if like
They were gala apples.
Is that what they were?
They were galas.
Okay.
Or even if he had put the head in the water stupidly and then taken the bucket and put that over his head, like slammed that on his head like upside down, so all the water went all over his head and the apples. I could have been cool with that. 'Cause a bunch of apples in the head, that would hurt. I mean, if it hit you on the head, but yeah, the just the bucket going in the water was a bit ridiculous. Although I did like I wrote in my notes here,
kick?
the pumpkin super kick.
That was badass.
That was pretty awesome because I just want to do that to someone. Just put a pumpkin on their head and super kick. Because I feel like actually it would not hurt more. It might actually protect the person if they have the pumpkin
it's
on
like
their
a
head.
helmet.
It's like a helmet, kind of.
A smelly helmet.
And so far in the chat roll, it was Vincent Vanderhoek said, "It's the force of which Dolph smashed Miz into the apples that hurt him."
Oh.
Shut up, Victor.
No,
I love you, but shut up.
I can see it. I can see it.
Don't help
can see
Victor's
it.
point here. Victor doesn't know what he's talking
And
about.
Emmanuel Dominguez in chat says, "It was dirty cold water." So I guess because it was cold, maybe that affected him because, hypothermia under the lights and all that stuff.
Emmanuel and Victor, you guys need to not think so deep about these kind of things. It was just stupid.
Don't tell our fans not to think so deep. I can make fun of them.
No,
Granted, and I will.
There's no
because they make fun of me all the damn time.
There is no deeper meaning behind what was going on there. There was no thought put into that. That was the only thing that you could make from that.
You know what? Our chat room viewers believe in magic.
No, Victor and Emmanuel seem like
And
great
they
guys.
think- yeah, right.
They put those unicorn horns up. They have those unicorn horns
They
up.
have the power of
I'm
positivity.
with you, boys. I'm with you.
Victor and Emmanuel, I love you guys. It was just strictly, come on.
Well, all of a sudden, towards the end of this match, we got the Miz that we had during his WrestleMania run. All of a sudden, he got angry. He got aggressive. He grabbed a chair, like injured Ziggler on the knee. And I was just like, hey, I remember this guy. I was a fan of him. Let's see more of this. And then he gets rolled up in an inside cradle and Ziggler wins. How do you win a street fight, Halloween-themed match with an inside cradle?
You were so offended by that.
I was so offended. I'm like, you gotta like pin him with a skeleton or something. I mean, like you gotta use something to finish the match.
I wish you guys could have seen when he saw that. Like he was so like Christian was like, what? What? This is a hardcore match. No, it was ridiculous. I was shocked too. I was like, wait, why would you roll him up? It's a hardcore match. Like, and they had just done the thing with the chair on the knee, and Dolph was all messed up from the chair on the knee and stuff.
Yeah.
I was confused. Although it was cool having what's his face come out after.
Well, Breeze came out afterwards,
Right.
beat him down some more, continuing to escalate this feud.
Yes. And Summer Rae took some selfies. They took some selfies together.
She does. That's all she does.
Well, now
Remember when she used to wrestle? She was kind of good at it. It's been a
Kind of
while.
good. I guess kind of good works. Yeah, kind of good.
I mean, like I've been saying on the show, the last month of her with Rusev, I was actually really enjoying her. I thought her promo work was getting much, much better. Mm-hmm. Now she's really kind of taking more of a back seat, which on one hand I can understand, but at the same time, still let her talk. Mm-hmm. We really haven't had that yet.
I just don't understand the point of putting her with Tyler Breeze. Like, he was doing his own thing. He didn't really need Summer Rae at all. Like, they don't really match at all. Like, they don't really... To me, they don't click at all. It was just kind of like, oh, we don't really know what to do with Summer Rae.
In like an old school way, it makes sense.
I guess.
Right?
I guess.
It seems kind of easy.
I guess. Fair enough.
But we gotta because we've been having so much fun. We're only like about halfway through the show. We only got 10 minutes or so.
Sorry, I'm a talker.
No, it's all right. So we're gonna kind of push through this stuff. Paige versus Natalya. Natalya talking about she had no proof whether or not Paige attacked her, but it's no excuse what you've done over the last month.
Natty was rusty. She was rusty in her promo. She was rusty in the ring, I felt like. And there was no point really for her to be there. She hasn't been built up. She hasn't been torn down. She hasn't even had a role in this Divas Revolution. Why bring her out and beat her up?
Right.
But at least we got to see Team Bad again.
Yeah, and that's what we're about to get to. So on Natalya's in control at the time, Team Bad comes out, distracts Natalya. Paige is to Rampage for the win. And Paige leaves the ring. Team Bad beats the crap out of Natalya. No one comes to help her.
So wait, what I was trying to figure out, does that mean that Team Bad was that was supposed to be the answer. Team Bad was the one that attacked Natalia.
They never, I don't think, officially claimed that they were the ones. So
No,
it's
that was
still
the
somewhat of a
implication.
mystery.
It was implied, though, right?
It seemed it was implied, but they didn't like admit it.
Because I thought it was gonna be like a storyline they were gonna go with for a little bit, and so I was confused that they already kind of admitted to it.
Well, they just realized that they could not keep Sasha Banks off television for
Maybe that's
one
it.
more freaking day.
Yeah, all three of us, the second she walked out, went like, "Oh, finally!"
There she is.
There she is.
And I like Naomi being the head of Team Bad and them coming out to amazing. But this worked for me as well.
What was the song again?
Well, we're trying to get through this very quickly, so
No,
it's
I'd like to hear
amazing.
it. No, you can do it.
Hey. Ambrose is getting ready backstage. Apparently, they have a gym in that locker room. Ryback threw down 5,000 pounds.
Half hoodie.
And with the half hoodie, says he has a history with the Wyatts too, a.k.a. I've wrestled one match with Bray Wyatt about 9 months ago, so I have a long time history with them. I will be your partner. Now, and he doesn't step on toes, he steps on necks.
Which
Actually,
was that
he does.
weird line.
Actually, he
Painful.
does backflips now, but whatever.
I saw that Vine or Instagram.
One of my favorite videos of the week.
Right? Yes.
I don't know why I watched that video maybe 20 times in a row. I just kept.
Me too, but for different reasons.
Then we get the brand new United States champion Alberto Del Rio coming out with his manager Zeb Coulter. And Zeb, what's that?
Wait, what?
Wait.
I thought we only had 10.
That's the Honky Tonk Man's music.
The Honky Tonk.
Why we're about to talk about Del Rio and Zeb Coulter? Why is that music?
Rick Springfield
I
around?
wish he was here.
That'd be really cool if the Honky Tonk Man was here, but I haven't seen. Wait a minute, who is this?
AfterBuzz TV, it's time. I am the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, the best manager of all time, and treat Christian Rosenberg.
What? Jimmy Hart?
He's here, y'all.
My dear friend Jimmy Hart.
Oh, and he comes with candy?
Oh, he brought us candy.
I'm a big fan, Jimmy.
Jimmy Hart, a big fan of the Young Bucks. Well, thank you, Jimmy Hart, for stopping by there.
Ooh, nice guy.
My favorite.
Ooh, good.
Swedish fish from the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Thanks, and I love how he showed his face to the camera that entire time he was here. Because he had a badass jacket and a badass tie. But thank you, Jimmy Hart.
What a nice guy.
I know. Thanks for stopping by on this Halloween edition.
Great hair and cool candy.
Major cameos up in here.
All right. So Zeb is talking about
Can we
how
show these? I don't think we can show these. Right?
these may or may not be sponsored.
They're vegan.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
So, Zeb's talking about how you're seeing a real American sharing the stage with a great Mexican. We are the first citizens of Mex America. We don't like the name of this title. We are formally now changing the name to the Mex American Championship.
Can we talk about how stupid this is yet?
We got about a minute or so to talk about this, but let's talk about for a minute how stupid this
Well,
is.
it just makes no sense.
Thank you again, Jimmy Hart. I know you're probably back in the recording booth now.
It just makes. I won't draw this one out for a long time. It just makes no sense pairing these two together.
See, on Sunday, and we talked about it on the pay-per-view, I was very intrigued having these two together because I'm like, okay, obviously they've been on opposite ends. Del Rio already is a good talker. Zeb is a great talker. And I was really intrigued how they're going to make this work. And we were talking about, hey, let's do almost kind of like a United Nations stable with Zeb as the leader, bringing people together. Have Barrett in there. Have Sheamus in there. You got Del Rio. There are plenty of options there. Now we're Mex-Americans. And
It's a part of your idea.
That leaves Sin Cara and Kalisto as the only people that could join them. I mean, I'm trying to think. There's probably a couple others I'm just not thinking of.
Rosa
but
Mendez.
she's pregnant.
Yeah,
She
she's
ain't
really
going to be
young
there.
girl.
Dress Jack Swagger up like
I have
Ricardo
a
Rodriguez, and they'll be
prediction
fine.
Oh, Jimmy Hart's got a plan.
I got a prediction for this. Maybe if they do get Carlito back, this is a way to repackage Los Matadors.
And they
make,
are still talking about doing
Mexican
that.
American.
They're
faction.
Puerto Rican. They're not Mexican.
It's Mexican America. It's all
No,
together as one.
That's definitely not the same thing at
That
all.
is, that is wrong, Jimmy Hart. That is wrong.
The mouth of the South, not the mouth of Mexico, apparently.
Not the mouth of the deep South.
Yikes.
So they're apparently changing the name of the title. I'm not crazy about it, but we'll see where it goes. But then he has to compete against the always compatible R-Truth. And this match is about 2 minutes. Double summon Tree Wolf for the win. That's all we really need to talk about with that match.
Yeah.
Bo backstage again. This time hiding in like one of these like the prop carts or whatever you call those things. And Mark Henry is walking by on a cell phone. And Bo was successful. He scared the world's strongest man so much he dropped his phone. And then Henry clocked him.
That was the payoff that I missed on that.
That was it.
Oh.
It was pretty brutal.
That was all they
He didn't even punch Bo Dallas like that famous YouTube video where the guy pops up out of the thing in the white sheet and he gets punched in the face. You know what I'm talking about? No?
No.
It's a classic video.
No, that was, and then he just fell back in the cart, and Henry's like, you made me drop my phone. And he walks off. That was their payoff for this whole thing.
They literally, guys, if you didn't watch this, they had like 3 segments all to build to that. They could have spent the time on anything else, and it was to hype up to Mark Henry dropping his phone.
Well, I mean, if Boo Dallas wasn't going to have a match, at least he got punched in the face. I mean,
I guess.
what else were they going to do with this?
Oh, well, they could have led it to some type of match. Even if it was Mark Henry squashing him in 2 minutes, fine. But
Or at least something that would make me laugh.
I wanted to believe.
Aww.
You always want to believe.
You still have a few days.
Okay. So main event time: the Wyatts versus Ambrose, Ryback, and Cesaro. Hard-hitting match as we would expect with all of them. Towards the end of the match, Cesaro is just on fire. He's jumping and twirling. Like, how does a man that size be that agile? I don't understand it.
It's insane.
For that long of a time.
And, like, when you see him climbing to the top rope, it always looks so crazy because he's so big. Like, his legs are, like, the size of the turnbuckle, so he's, like, climbing up so quickly. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Am I
No, you're absolutely
You
right.
just don't see a guy that size, like, quickly running up the turnbuckle like he does. It's crazy. Even a crossbody, when he does it, most people when they do a crossbody, it's like, oh, it's a crossbody, whatever. But
His should be his finish.
yeah, it looks crazy. It's like this huge man flying at you. It's nuts.
So towards the end of this match, Cesaro in control of Harper, has him in the crossface. Strowman distracts him for a second. Ref starts yelling at Strowman, even though he's in the match. This leads to Bray hitting Cesaro, which then Cesaro turns into a lariat from Harper, and Harper pins Cesaro, and the Wyatts stand tall, as they should with the
Those
storyline
dastardly
going on.
Wyatts.
Those dastardly Wyatts, as SmackDown goes off the air. So let's just take a random guess right now. Let's say we're still assuming there's going to be a Survivor Series 4-on-4 match, Wyatts versus Team Taker. We already know obviously it's going to be Undertaker and Kane.
Well, if you want a little scoop, I've been.
Oh,
I was told it's
yes.
definitely not going to be a 4-on-4.
Oh, really?
That's going to be 2-on-2 still. It's going to be Kane and Undertaker versus two of the Wyatt.
Just Bray and Strowman or Bray and
I don't know
Harper?
which two of the Wyatt family members, but I was told that it's going to be 2-on-2.
Now, why wouldn't it be a
Love it.
Survivor Series match?
I don't book the matches. I don't know. I'm just
You're supposed to do
just
everything.
have
I'm just
Inside
passing along
scoop.
what I was told. I mean, things could always change, but that was what a good source of mine told me, that it's going to be 2-on-2.
I believe that.
Well, she believes a lot of stuff she reads on the internet, so. But you should believe me.
But
I'm just saying.
we believe it from you. And by the way, Angie Harris in the chat thinks you look like Damian Sandow.
I get that sometimes.
I can see it. Yeah.
My hair's longer,
Angie,
though.
you're
Yeah.
onto
He's got a
something
cooler beard,
there.
though.
Well, you're getting more airtime than him right now.
True that.
I saw him outside of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles after the pay-per-view on Sunday.
Oh, did he look sad?
No.
Why would he look sad?
Yeah, Roscoe's is a good
Why
place.
wouldn't he be
Roscoe's
sad?
Chicken Waffles is
He's
delicious.
been on TV for months.
Could you imagine how weird it would be to see someone at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles eating sadly? Like, they're just sitting there, just depressed, eating chicken and waffles? I don't think anyone looks sad while eating chicken and waffles.
I've never eaten chicken and waffles.
Ryan.
Ever? No.
Oh, well, we're going to have to go.
Yeah, you gotta get on that.
It's happening.
At least once.
Yeah. So, Ryan, Just real quick, let's talk a little more because we got to wrap up. But let's talk about your site and let's talk about your podcast as well. So, what about your podcast on Pro Wrestling Sheet? Like, what is it that stands out about yours to make sure our listeners can tune into yours as well?
Well, mainly what I'm trying to do is just get a place for listeners to be able to have a place where they can listen to a wrap up of all the top stories of the week and have have people discussing it, and also on my podcast, since we break exclusive news on my site ProWrestlingSheet.com. I can't always fit every piece of information into the story, or else it'd be this huge long thing. So it also gives me a place to share other bits of information that I wasn't able to put in the stories and kind of discuss them more in depth. Because we're not doing reviews like this, like AfterBuzz and stuff like that. We're just talking the news, discussing the news and what's going on, how that might affect things in the future, and all those kind of things.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Yeah, you should subscribe then, Christy.
I will do.
You should subscribe.
And so now when you ask me where I heard stuff, I could be like,
if you say it's from Pro Wrestling Sheet, I'm gonna believe that.
Yeah, well, you should definitely believe that.
Yes. All right. Well, and that's how we're gonna wrap up this week's SmackDown AfterBuzz. Hopefully, all you guys are gonna have an awesome Halloween. Hopefully, you're all dressing up like me because that would be awesome. Even though I'm not real. Well, I guess I am kind of scary. Well, more creepy than scary, I think. But in the meantime, Christy, how can people communicate with you?
Well, I'm all about the juicy gossip in the news too. Check it out at ChristyReports.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christy Report.
Ryan Satin, this has been so awesome having you on. We gotta have you on again. Tell people once again how they can reach out to you.
You can follow me at Ryan Satin, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go to my website, ProWrestlingSheet.com. Breaking news all the time. And you can follow my website on all social media at Wrestling Sheet. And like we were saying earlier, subscribe to the podcast. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, all those fun places at Wrestling Sheet.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Ro Rosenberg, Instagram at the Ro Rosenberg. And once again, help me pay my damn medical bills again. Buy my t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. I'm going to have a rare week off next week, so we're going to see who's going to be popping in here to host with Christy.
You're going to be alone?
We'll probably have someone.
Our chat room people would never, ever leave me alone.
No, you won't be left alone, but we'll have fun, and I'll be back in 2 weeks, but we'll see all you guys here next week. For Christy Olsen and Ryan Satin, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.